changing from sort of Shrike duty for Deadstop, since they picked up Remix for their team, and doing more Pathfinder stuff, chasing and flag carrying. How do you think that's changed your team's game, APC?
One thing we really adapted was the escorting technique. I think we saw that a lot of that at Tau. And we were trying to do something like that, but when I was striking, that's not where I was all my life in tribes. I've always been a hold on here. Someone talking. Okay. No, I've always been a capper since Tribes 1, so I have that flag awareness, and Blitz has always been a capper as well that I've known. So I'm very familiar with how he works, and I think we work very well together. And playing with Frost, he's actually another good player that I can rely the flag with.
I'm not sure if anyone is left on the server that I can ask to interview with for her team. No More Triples. Now, you actually were the one who told me about their debut, how impressed you were. What impressed you about them the first time you met against them?
We played against them like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, or 3 weeks ago. You know, it's not too recently, but I think they ended up taking up like 2 maps. Granted, it was a mixed team. It wasn't just Deadstop. It was like 3 Deadstop players and 4 or 5 others. But they really, impressed me, and I knew more than half the players from Tribes 2, and I know they're smart players. If you have Tribes 2 skill, you'll have Tribes Ascent skill too. Just give it time.
Yep, the game sense and the game flow and just the general idea of how to make your team win really helps out as you move from tribes game to tribes game. It's very hard for a lot of teams from other games to get into the groove, but I was just saying it's kind of so cool. It's cool to see the community being revitalized by it that
Oh,
I want to see a
absolutely.
lot of teams to come and show us what they can do. Blitz is here. Blitz, you're the captain of Deadstop. Obviously, you're pretty happy with how things went tonight, I assume.
Yeah, definitely. Those were really fun games. Like I said, No More Triples is a great team, and we had a lot of fun playing them. I mean, they force us to give it everything we've got, and yeah, it was
And
good.
we did see everything. We saw strikes and tanks and chain grabs and Pathfinder escorting and just tons of, all of your best tricks that really made you win. But obviously, it seemed like it was very hard for Tribbles to keep up with all that stuff. What do you think where they went wrong?
I can't really say. I mean, I'm not so sure that they necessarily did anything like really wrong. I mean, they all played really good. I mean, from my perspective, capping on their defense, they did a really good job. I mean, Doubt, for instance, like that's the best stay at home I've ever seen.
He stays at home.
He's always there. I mean, go figure, right? Like you would think it's a simple concept, but it's not. And he plays it really well. So that made it really frustrating for our like llama type style where we're just constantly putting pressure because we bank on breaking down a defense to the point where we can just keep our pace and just keep up the pressure. But he stops that from happening because he's always there to kind of put a kink in it.
So even when you're beating a team, you're still finding problems that they're causing you and just showing how good the team actually is, even though they can't win tonight. They'll maybe win later if they cause a problems to you in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, the score doesn't always necessarily tell the tale. 5-1, 5-2, 5-3. Those can all be like extremely close games with caps decided by like one small mistake and or big play. So, I don't really take 5-1 as like some giant beating. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard fought win either way you cut it.
Is anyone in this channel in contact with Triples that we can get someone in here to talk to us about how the game went?
I can try to get Mr. Method.
That would be very cool. Mabel is now admitted himself. Any comments, Mabel, on how the games went?
Their cappers are really good.
I loved to see Shin and Dibs going opposite directions because that's one of my favorite things to see is people confusing the defense and just causing just chaos on the stand with I mean, I know cowboy capping is kind of dead, but still like to see players just making it impossible for defense to really keep their flag home with really good coordinated plays like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what allowed them to get off the stand, is just how they had those two, like, really nice sneaky routes all the time, like things that you can't even call, or if you call one, then you miss the other, and that was really good on their part. Their elo was not quite as good. Their clear was definitely not up to the standard that their capper set, but you can fix that.
You can fix that, and also they didn't have all their guys to start. They only got their full roster up for map 4. They did lose that pretty badly, but Arcs is a fast map. It's hard. It's easy to get out of control, just like Crossfire, which we saw.
Well, Arcs is really hard to clear on. Arcs is also really hard to cowboy cap on, comparatively. Like, you need good LO, and it's pretty hard to LO in the way they were playing. You need, like, raiders to clear against the way we play defense.
Now that I think about it, the maps that are hard to control or they're easy to get out of control, Dry Dock, Arcs, and Crossfire are the ones they lost the worst. And the more standard map, they took it to you on that map.
It's that whole escorting thing. It's that constant pressure that Blitz was talking about. And those maps are smaller. They're easier, I would say, to get that flag. Okay, fine. The flag carrier dies not even halfway to their base, but then we have someone there, and he picks it up, and he only needs to hold it for 5 seconds for that capper to respawn and thrust out to him. You know, it's that constant keep that flag in your hands. That's the half the goal, is to get that flag off their stand.
I know Mabel's called Hero Moment. There were a few of those. What were you talking about in that case?
Oh, it was just the orbital strike that got a triple kill. Was all.
Any questions you have, Kendris?
Well, first thing I like to say is esports.
Yes.
There was one particular point throughout this entire game, all 4 maps, that really stood out, I believe. It was about 10 minutes on Crossfire, where it was 4-0, I think it was, maybe
Yes.
4-1, and it was really hard for Deadstop to overcome that one last cap after doing it on every single map that we saw. So, through you guys' perspective, what happened during that point?
All right, I was actually just thinking about commenting on this very thing. I think, if anything, whenever that happens, that just means that one team made the better shift. Now, I don't know exactly what that shift was that they made. We didn't change anything. We kept the same strategy from beginning to end. I mean, a few
all
players
4 maps?
changed. No. I'm talking about just Crossfire.
Just Crossfire.
Yeah, just Crossfire. So our strategy was pretty much the same the entire time. Like, we had some players kind of mix it up a little bit, when we always do, but the overall strategy was really the same. You know, pressure, and lots of escorts. So we just kept that up, and I think that we all felt that it was working. They're really good players, so things aren't going to come easy, no matter what. And instead of making a change last second, I'm just like, no, we got this. Like, yeah, they might get a couple of caps, but in the end, we'll take it.
That did actually happen, but definitely they have a lot of that needed game sense to cause you problems as they figure out what's not working for them and change it. So very cool to see a high-level Tribes team come out and show good games. I want to see them win something in the future. This is our first time really seeing them live on a stream, so I hope that they were able to play some other high-level teams soon and show us a good show. We're still waiting on ladders to start. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that. Do you have any thoughts on that, any of you guys, on what's going to happen with Fire Choose or Game Shrine, or what you want to see happen with competition mode?
I don't know where we'd land upon that. Blitz, what were you saying about Fire Truce?
I mean, I wanted to see how the rule set came out first, really, before I committed to it. Like, I'm already signed up on it, and I'll play, right? I'll go wherever the competition is, because that's the only reason that I play. So whether that's Fire Truce or Beyond Gaming or whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just waiting for the first cash tournament. That's what I want.
Yeah, buddy.
I kept saying this here, like, after each game, I was like, dude, and can't wait until we're playing into a tournament, a LAN, like, when we're actually, like, this means something. It's really gonna put the pressure on every single team.
And that will be interesting to see who can handle that pressure and who cannot. But yeah, I do think at this point we're waiting for it to be fair before there are prizes. But to tide us over, we want to cover whatever we can, whatever scrimmages are arranged or whatever we can do. Bart, there's no more Beyond Gaming stuff, so do you want us to keep going back there, or do you want us to organize our own stuff? What do you think?
I just need to set up some more games if we're gonna kind of move forward there. It's really it's really up to you guys. It kind of depends on where the community coalesces, and I think it's all